The wind and rain has picked up very violently as the outer bands are now sweeping over us, packing these speeds of over 200 kilometers an hour. Right now, I'm in an abandoned reception area of a hotel, watching windows and doors buckle and bend under the might of this hurricane. Earlier, a huge window, 10 foot by 10 foot, popped out in front of me, shattering glass all over the lobby. And it looks like there are branches being ripped from trees and being buffeted around in front of this hotel reception, and you can see them occasionally moving past the windows. And just a few minutes ago, an American tourist sought refuge in this hotel. He was drenched, clearly in a state of shock, and he is reporting that the marina area containing a number of luxury boats of tourists and other mariners has been very badly damaged. Right now, the hotel guests have been put into a banquet hall, which is basically acting as a refuge, as there's no electricity in any of the bedrooms and there are concerns about the windows. So they are at the moment sleeping on sun lounges that are doubling up as beds. And outside, as you said, the town of Cabo San Lucas is more or less bathed in darkness. There are a few lights coming from generators, but essentially there's been almost a complete blackout. Authorities have been trying to organize evacuations for residents of lower coastal areas, perhaps people in more modest income families and poorer areas of the town. They have 164 refuges, which can contain up to 30,000 people. So certainly the hope is most people would have made it there already. Natalie.
Yeah, I hope so, because this is, as you say, a very popular tourist destination. Might have caught some people off guard with this powerful storm. And has Cabo ever gone through something like this before? Do you know?
No, it's looking like it could be the most powerful storm to have hit Cabos and the Baja Peninsula if it continues at this rate. And certainly the tourists that you speak to here, many of them, had booked time off work long in advance and have already flown in. And some of them, or most of them, in fact, are from the United States and do experience extreme weather and severe weather conditions in the United States. So they were largely happy to sit it out. Others had their flights cancelled and they were unable to leave. A number of U.S. airlines cancelled flights very early in the morning on Sunday. So there's a mishmash of U.S. tourists here who I think to start with treated it with amusement, but now are pretty much hunkering down and trying to wait it out.
Déjeme comentarle, le decía al inicio del noticiero que Francisco Santana, el enviado especial de Noticieros Televisa y Foro TV, pues prácticamente pasó toda la noche en un vehículo en el trayecto entre Los Cabos y San José del Cabo. No pudo seguir porque los fuertes vientos se lo impedían, pero eso le dio la oportunidad de registrar el golpe, la llegada de Odile en Los Cabos, y fue así.
Son las 9 de la noche en la península de Baja California. Son fuertes las ráfagas de viento que se sienten del huracán Odile. Son ráfagas cercanas a los 110 kilómetros por hora. Dale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Estas imágenes fueron captadas minutos después de las 11 de la noche con 45 minutos, que es la hora en que se estableció con toda precisión por parte del Servicio Meteorológico Nacional el momento en que Odile, o ya digamos el vórtice del huracán, categoría 3 en ese momento, estaba pegando en la zona de San José del Cabo. así lo registró nuestro compañero Francisco Santana. Usted vio cómo la fuerza del viento lo movía, la intensidad de la lluvia, de la tormenta, y bueno, pues inmediatamente los efectos del viento en palmeras, los encharcamientos en las calles de San José del Cabo, y al poco tiempo, porque así fue que ocurrió, al poco tiempo, pasada la medianoche, bueno, pues la falta de energía eléctrica, toda esa zona del sur de la península de Baja California quedó sin energía eléctrica, condición que hasta el momento mantiene, y bueno, por supuesto, de lo que les seguiremos informando en el transcurso de los próximos minutos.
Well, Mary Beth, with wind gusts of more than 100 miles an hour, there is no doubt plenty of structural damage to deal with. Thankfully, there are no reports of any major injuries, but thousands of tourists remain stranded as they wait out the storm. Odile struck Mexico's Pacific coast with wind gusts of 125 miles an hour. Torrential rains flooded the streets with more than a foot of water in Cabo, where up to 30,000 tourists hunkered down in dozens of shelters set up by the Mexican government.
We just barricaded the windows, grabbed as much water and food as we could, and we're just waiting it out in our room.
This video sent to us by a KTLA viewer vacationing in Cabo shows the damage left behind when the hurricane hit shore as a Category 3 storm.
People from the lower stories of the buildings are coming up and asking for food and water, so we're trying to accommodate them as much as we can and just look out for ourselves as well.
Many people said they barricaded in bathrooms for safety and heard the hallways sound more like wind tunnels. Some portions of hotels flooded with 3 to 4 feet of water. There are no reports of any major injuries, but many tourists are stuck to ride out the weather since at least 24 flights to and from the area have been canceled.
I don't know what plans they have to evacuate. I don't see where they're going to go.
And we're told at this hour the airport in Baja remains closed. That storm is expected to move north-northwest, missing Southern California, but south-facing beaches in LA and Ventura counties are bracing for higher waves and rip currents as a result of the storm, so you want to be sure to take that into consideration if you're out on the water. Jess and Mary Beth will send it back to you.
A popular Mexican resort area of Cabo San Lucas. Winds gusting up to 116 miles an hour, dropping up to 18 inches of rain. And ABC's senior meteorologist, Rob Marciano, is tracking that huge storm in Virginia this morning. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, Robin. You are right. It is a monster storm. Look at the last 12 hours of this. A distinct eye as it slams the Baja Peninsula. This is the strongest hurricane to make landfall this year anywhere, and the strongest hurricane on record to make landfall on the California Baja. And last night, Cabo took a direct hit.
Overnight, Hurricane Odile making landfall on Mexico's Baja Peninsula. Waves battering the resort town of Los Cabos. Winds up to 125 miles per hour. The Category 3 storm blowing out walls of windows in this hotel. Spanning 600 miles across, hurricane-force winds extend 50 miles from its center, churning up deadly surf and torrential rains. Mexican authorities setting up emergency shelters to hold up to 30,000 people, many of them American tourists.
I thought as part of the building falling off, the vibration was really intense on the building. It felt like earthquakes.
Two of those tourists, Christina and Nate McFadden from San Francisco, were celebrating Nate's 40th birthday when they had to take shelter in their Hilton Hotel bathroom.
Right before the window blew, we could feel the air pressure change and knew like something was going to happen.
A number of Americans tried to flee to the airport and get out before the storm hit, only to find there were no outgoing flights.
We booked a hotel room so we can be at the airport anytime there might be a flight going.
Remarkably, 6 hours after landfall, this is still a Category 3 storm, so still with winds of 115 miles an hour and very, very wide. Here's the forecast track up the Baja, and will diminish in intensity as we go through the overnight hours. But look at Arizona in the forecast cone. I can't remember the last time that happened. It won't be a hurricane or tropical storm by the time that happens, but it will get tropical moisture. And at this stage of the game, guys, Arizona and New Mexico have seen more impact on hurricanes than Florida or the Carolinas this year. Remarkable.
Astonishing. Okay, Rob, thank you. We're going to